already know just where I be, dog. I ain't being cocky, but Philly what I'm reppin'. Watch me check it like it's hockey. I ain't tryna get it twisted. If you get it, then you got me. If you with it, cool. If not, I'll treat you like a Tamagotchi. I'ma let you down point. Yeah, I never disappoint.
What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today, and we're jumping into this game a little bit late. This game was originally one of my first games of the day. Not really recording for a gameplay at this point. However, once we started playing this game, this guy just sits back in his trap and sits back as the third guy in his 2-3-4 check and just keeps sitting back the entire game. So I decided to turn on the capture software. From the second period on, we're 1-1. I scored about halfway through the first in the first period. This guy scores with 0.3 seconds left in the first period on some utterly crap goal stuff. Now, what I want to talk about today is a little bit of old news. Now, if you guys have not seen or don't follow, EA's Twitter or NHL 18 or anything like that, NHL has entered the eSports market with an international tournament. Now, I only managed to grab the headline on this one. I didn't actually get to a chance to copy the article. But on NHL 18, there was, or is, there's still going to be, or something, an eSports tournament. Now, two parts of this video I want to go over. One are my thoughts and everything about NHL and eSports, and the two is kind of how the game fares up to the eSports level of a game. So let's start right off with my opinions on it. So first of all, I just want to say NHL going into eSports. That's great. That's really great. Like, out of all the good eSports, you have, personally, I watch Call of Duty, CSGO, Gears of War, Halo occasionally, League of Legends occasionally, Dota, basically all the ones that are Optic are in, I watch those. But then you have the rare, other random esport like Overwatch, even though Optic's in that too. But I'll occasionally watch some new esports, just to see what the hype's all about. Only really when Optic's playing, because other than that, I'm just like, I don't even know who any of these people are. Other than like the Optic League of Legends team, all I knew was Faker, and that's only because he's like the GOAT of League of Legends apparently. So, is NHL capable of getting to a League of Legends, I guess, top of the board, top line esports? I don't think so, to be honest. You look at a game like Call of Duty, who's looked at as the kind of the only real console esport. Yes, you have Halo, you have Gears, but if you put all the console esports together, you don't really have a big following. Call of Duty is a super casual game unless you're in the competitive scene, right? But things like CSGO, League of Legends, like, you understand it because you play the game. A lot of people in Call of Duty don't even know what the CWL is, or MLG, or UMG, or any of these LAN tournaments, don't know who any of the pro players are. They always sit there and complain that the game keeps changing every month or every week. Like, they have no idea. But for NHL, pretty much, I want to say majority, I don't know the stats behind this, so don't crucify me if I don't know the stats, but I'm pretty sure majority of the people play play Hockey Ultimate Team. And that seems to be the main game mode that people play, or at least play out the most. Well, if it was going to enter the esports market, what are you going to have as the game mode? Right? If you have HUT, right, people could have, different teams saying, oh, it wasn't fair, I didn't have the same level of players that this other team did, or something like that, right? There could always be that argument, or they could abuse the system in a sense, I'll call it, or they won't play the same way or whatever. But then you'll go with the people that will say, oh, online versus. Or even if you just want to say versus play. Okay. Super inconsistent. We'll get to the whole gameplay part later, but NHL versus is so just every time you play, it's completely different. So that'd be kind of inconsistent for an esports game mode, I'll call it. Then you have EASHL, where you could have 6v6, but you'd have to find some way to do it on LAN, which I don't know how exactly that would work. But you'd have to have 6 people, you know, 5 skaters and a goalie to make it the best, which is probably the best option in my opinion, right? So that you actually have to have a good goalie and you can't just rely on a computer goalie. So that might be the best option yet. Then you have what other online shootout, but then that's not really like a esport game mode. Like that's not really qualified, I'll call it. So you don't really have a good game mode that's consistent and could be that staple of NHL 18 esports, right? Everyone can make their argument for HUT, for online versus, for EASHL. In my opinion, if I was going to make NHL an esport, I would easily go with EASHL, right? You could still play how you want to. You have to have teamwork. You have to build a team, but it doesn't just rely on randomness, right? If you play online versus, you have to rely on the randomness of the computers, where you could abuse the computers a lot. HUT, same thing. You could abuse the computers. And then shootout is just stupid. Like, there's no point. But EASHL, if you have 6v6, there you go. Or if you play even 3-on-3, that's still like a decent option. Preferably, I would like 6-on-6, if anything. So that's good. But then you go to the actual gameplay. So okay, let's just say you have EASHL. But then we go in the part where the actual game itself, NHL 18, is one of the most inconsistent games I have ever played. So you go with, you know, stick lifts, poke checks, hitting, everything like that. Super inconsistent, right? There'll be times where you're driving to the net, and I know EA put it in the game this way, but you'll drive to the net and you miss that one crucial poke check that costs you that goal, which could be late. Which could be 30 seconds left on the clock, and you need that one crucial poke check, and you actually hit the stick, or hit the puck or the stick, I guess you could call it, and then it misses because EA coded it that way. Or a hit. You try to rely on one hit to save you the game, and all of a sudden, the hit doesn't do anything. You just bounce right off like it's a something, like a big old bouncy ball, and then it costs you the game. Or you have some last minute cheese crap that comes along and it just doesn't make sense. Or you could have the play that, you know, just happened, where I make a great move, get to the front of the net, and the computer saves him. Not the goaltender. The computer saves him. His defense cross-checks me from behind, and I lose the puck. So it should have been a goal, but the computer saved him. So the computers is the biggest, like, wild card out of them all, right? You never know how they're going to react, right? They could be the best computers ever, or if you know how to abuse them, then they're the best computers ever. If you play it myself and don't try to abuse the computers on every single play, then you could actually have a decent game. But again, the computers, super, super inconsistent, to where it's too much randomness for the game. Like, there couldn't be a good player. The top 100 players, if they all went to a tournament, you'd probably have 50 different winners. Like, it doesn't make sense. So overall, as we're wrapping this video up, you know, we're in overtime and we're getting a lot of good chances. But to wrap up this video, guys, all I want to say is NHL is not qualified to be an esport. Plain and simple. If you want to play it at like a small tournament, you know, with your friends for 20 bucks each, go nuts. But as for an official esport, no way. It's not qualified. Too much randomness, too much inconsistency. You have to create a completely good game to have a good esport, right? NHL just does not come up to those qualifications, and it's not worthy of being an esport. But anyway, guys, we're working it around here. That's all I really have to talk about, you know, for the topic itself. Definitely don't think it should be an esport. Definitely not up to, I guess, the status quo of being an esport. You look at games like League of Legends, Counter-Strike, you know, Overwatch, any of those games, they're pretty well made. Fortnite, you know, even though it's not an esport, It's probably going to be eventually. And look at how great that game is. But look at this play coming up. He ends up making a mistake with the horrible passing, which I forgot to mention. The horrible passing. Super inconsistent. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. If you did enjoy, hit that like button down below. Comment what you guys thought of the video down in the comment section below. And subscribe for more. Anyway, guys, I'll see you later.
I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body so I can tell